Hi, it's Chris Victus, aka the Z Realtor, here to talk to you again about real estate on the rocks. Today's episode is pretty sensitive in the sense that we're talking about tax. Now, what kind of taxes are there? To begin with, let's define tax. Tax can be defined as a levy charged on a business or a person for operating and generating revenue. Now, with regards to real estate, there are three kinds of taxes that we'll have to talk about. That's withholding tax, property transfer tax, and value-added tax, or commonly known as VAT. So the first tax we're going to talk about is withholding tax. Now, withholding tax affects the property owner as well as the real estate agent. The real estate agent is affected because he has to pay 15% to ZRA. I know half of y'all ain't paying that. So in principle, the landlord is supposed to withhold the 15% and pay on behalf of the real estate agent to ZRA. That 15% is a legal obligation that really we can't run away from. We have to pay it. So the withholding tax that's levied onto the real estate agent, it has to be paid obviously based on every transaction because it's commission based. You can't really say it's taxed per month or per quarter or per year. It's based on each transaction that you make. The next withholding tax we're going to talk about is on rental. The withholding tax on rental is 10%. That 10% is supposed to be paid by the tenant on behalf of the landlord because you are withholding that tax. That tax is paid on a monthly basis. So 10% of say 10,000 kwacha rental is 1,000 kwacha. You're supposed to pay that to ZRA, and then you get a tax certificate which is supposed to submit to the landlord, who is later supposed to submit on his annual returns to ZRA. Again, you can't run from this tax. It has to be paid. Either the landlord pays it or you, the tenant, pays it. But at the end of the year, there has to be some tax certificates. In total, 12 of them. The next tax we're going to talk about is property transfer tax. Property transfer tax is 5%. If you're selling a property that costs, say, 100,000 kwacha, you're going to pay 5,000 kwacha to ZRA to complete your conveyancing. This 5% is paid by the vendor. If it's supposed to be paid by the purchaser, it's supposed to be indicated in the special conditions in the contract of sale, which is provided by the Law Association of Zambia. Again, this is a legal obligation that no one can run away from. The third tax, value-added tax. VAT is charged on commercial property. VAT is 16%. So how VAT is going to be applicable to a rental transaction is as follows. If the rent is 10,000 kwacha, you, the tenant, is going to pay 1,000 kwacha as withholding tax. Then you pay a further 16% of that 10,000 kwacha, which is 1,600. Reason being, that is a commercial property. And it is designated as a commercial property under Lusaka City Council. So the 16% needs to be paid. Now let's talk about exemptions. There's what is known as the Vienna Convention, which was signed on the 23rd of May, 1969. There are about 116 countries that are exempt from paying any and all taxes. So this mostly applies to diplomats from embassies or institutions such as the UN or COMESA. So in short, withholding tax, we don't pay. VAT, we don't pay. Property transfer tax, we won't pay because we ain't allowed to buy anything. So in short, if you're a diplomat, you're not going to pay any taxes in Zambia. When it comes to, say, withholding tax, what's going to happen is you're exempt from paying the withholding tax. And then with your deposits that you give, say, to your landlord for the rental property that you have, the landlord is supposed to receive that money, take a bank statement to ZRA, and submit a letter saying that the person occupying my property is a diplomat. In short, when someone of a diplomatic status occupies your property, that is diplomatic ground, and therefore it cannot be taxed. You can find that information in the Diplomatic Immunities Act, Chapter 20 of the Laws of Zambia. So Zambia is part of the Vienna Convention, and as a result, we have to abide by that. All this information I've given you is readily available on Google. You can check if you want. As always, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Please share, and let's spread the knowledge. Cheers.